这款颜色俏皮的无人机专门为运动爱好者设计，搭载 GoPro 运动摄影机，只要戴上感应手环，就能像空中狗仔随时跟拍。
The main thing is that you don't need to have any skills to control it. So you have a leash, you push a button, and you're ready to go.
自己在户外运动的帅气模样全被捕捉下来，不过一台可不便宜，要价高达39000元台币。中国大陆制造的无人机也不落人后，搭载 4K 超高画素相机，还能与 App 连线，随时监控摄影。
Imagine a camera that goes past your arm's reach. Imagine a camera that gives you a new perspective. Imagine a camera that follows you. Imagine a camera that sets you free. Nixie will capture the moment like never before. Introducing Nixie, the wearable camera that flies on command. Nixie is the first wearable and flyable camera that you carry on your wrist like a watch. Unfold the flexible bands, and Nixie is ready for takeoff. Nixie is for anyone who wants to capture and share a new perspective on their adventures. Nixie, set your camera free.
I'm Christoph and I'm the team leader of Nixie. I've been a tinkerer all my life and I always loved being in my workshop, just building stuff.
Christoph came over one day and he said, I have a new idea for a quadcopter. And he looked at me with this mischievous grin and he said, I want to make your quadcopter wearable. And I thought, what?
Let's just build a flying wristband that can give aerial photography to you. You should be able, with a gesture, to tell the quadcopter to unfold, and then it's going to take off from your wrist. It knows where you are, it turns around, takes a picture of you, comes back. You can catch it from the air and put it back on your wrist. So we are preparing to prototype with the Intel Edison chip, and here's a little test setup where we can measure exactly the power we need to create a specific lift.
New York City, captured by a Swiss drone hobbyist. As you're probably thinking, yes, this is illegal as all hell. And I'll be the first to say that doing this sort of thing over the site of the worst terrorist attacks on American soil, probably not the best idea.
A Scout, which is unarmed and will probably always be unarmed, is meant specifically for surveillance, will never be harming any individual, for the most part, unless, any kind of accident.
The unit really and truly flies itself. It just waits for us to tell it when to take off, how high to go, how fast to fly, where we want it to go, and what to look at. Sure. All of our status says we're okay. We've got a GPS accuracy of 2.6 meters, so we're ready to take off. It spins up. It says I've done all my check, so I'm ready to take off. So I hit takeoff. The vehicle is very good at flying itself, and it just listens to the directions of how high we want it to go, where we want it to go to, and what we want it to look at.
We've had a lot of interest in special use cases, like in Nome, Alaska, where they actually had an oil tanker trying to ship oil into Nome. Unfortunately, the harbor froze really early in the year. And what they actually did with the Scout was they took it off and they took photographs of the ice surrounding this harbor. And in a post-processing, using post-processing software, they were able to actually map out the sea ice thickness so they could navigate this tanker in accordingly. So it's a pretty diverse system.
We decided to check out some of the folks at the leading edge of hobby drones. A few miles down the road from Datron is 3D Robotics, a company that represents a drastic culture shift in drone tech. Alan and Sam, two engineers with the company, give us a quick run of the lab.
This is where we design all the frames, the autopilots, all the circuits.
Right.
And also where we play around. So this is just where everything starts, and then the manufacturing, shipping, and testing is on the other side. So right now, the word drone, I feel, has a negative connotation, especially with all the wars that have been going on, and military drones being the most common use of the word. But really, a drone is a machine that you can, pre-program, or that has a level of autonomy that could, do a job that the user can't do or doesn't want to do. So what we're doing is turning regular RC aircraft, or even helicopters, quadcopters, into autonomous vehicles. With our autopilot, you can just drop it into your existing vehicle, then turn it into a fully autonomous aircraft, something that wasn't available for the masses before. And then what to do with it, that's where the user comes in. That we're selling the tool, and it's up to the user to come up with a use for it. And you can go buy scissors and do something bad with it. So it's basically the same thing.
I'm Chris Anderson. I'm the co-founder of 3D Robotics and founded DIY Drones, the community that spawned us initially. This is not my day job. My day job is I'm the editor of Wired.
Shortly after taping this interview, Chris Anderson announced his departure from Wired to focus on 3D robotics full-time.
Well, what you're looking at here is what we think of as something like, the Apple, of 1977, coming out of the homebrew computing club, amateurs, hobbyists, not the IBMs of the day. The technology in your cell phone, the sensors and the processors and the wireless, etc. The fact that this has become cheap and available and ubiquitous is the enabling technology of the personal drone movement. And we don't come out of the aerospace industry. We definitely don't come out of the military. We come out of the hobbyist world. And what you're seeing here is just a bottoms-up, open source, community-based attempt to take a technology that was once a military industrial one and democratize it, make it available to everybody, and introduce the word personal to drone.
Which brings us to the Federal Aviation Administration's stance on drones.
Since the FAA doesn't really have rules for what we make, we just piggyback onto RC aircraft. And so we're limited by altitude. We can only fly 400 feet or below. We have to fly within line of sight. Just various rules that are there that maybe we can do away with, because our drones are more capable than that.
While 3D's quadcopter and the Scout might look similar, their differences far outweigh any similarities. 3D shoots seemingly better looking footage than the Scout that we flew, for one thing. Just compare the two. Then again, what the Scout might lack in visuals, it makes up in durability. And of course, the GPS and the slick user interface allow for reconnaissance and search and rescue capabilities that put it above and beyond 3D's systems, which are more or less pimped out RC aircraft. We fly 3D's drones the old-fashioned way, with RC controllers. But thanks to 3D's autopilot, these are autonomous aircraft, meaning that just like the Scout, you can tell your DIY drone where to go, let it get there by itself, and then regain control once it's at point B.